Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. Welcome back to another Timepieces for Tomorrow video. A quick wristwatch check. I'm wearing the Tudor Black Bay 58 Navy. But within this video I want to answer a question. Actually, several viewers had this question. How often should a wristwatch be serviced? And in particular, we're talking about a mechanical wristwatch, whether that's an automatic movement, a manually wound movement. How often should that watch be serviced? Now, I'm going to give you the quick answer, and then I'm going to provide my personal opinion after collecting wristwatches for over 30 years. So the official answer is check with the manufacturer and follow the manufacturer's recommendations. Some of the newer wristwatches, especially from Rolex and Omega, the service intervals are stretched out longer than they were in the past, and a lot of that's attributed to improved technology with the manufacturer phase and some of the components that they use, and also the lubricants, etc. So, follow the manufacturer's recommendations. With that being said, I'll tell you what I do, and this is just me. I'm not recommending this, but you ask the question and I'm going to respond in a very honest and straightforward fashion. So, I haven't serviced any of my wristwatches except when they encountered issues, so I'll give you my service history. So Breitling Super Avenger, although it has a stated water resistance, the Breitling Super Avenger, if you're familiar with it, it does not have screw down pushers, and it does have a chronograph complication. So what happened to it, not once but twice, water was introduced into the wristwatch, and I had to send it to Breitling to have it serviced. Fortunately, when you're purchasing from an authorized dealer, and check the warranty before you purchase a wristwatch, see what the warranty includes, see what the international warranty for that watch includes, and see how long it's in effect. Some of them may be a few years, some of them may be a lot more. You may have a longer time period. So in the case of the Breitling Super Avenger, when it leaked, because I didn't take it deep at all, I was only a few feet in the ocean. Since it leaked, I sent it back, and Breitling serviced it and resolved the issue. That did not happen once, but it happened twice to that wristwatch. That wristwatch I don't even wear it when I wash my hands now. So that was a service due to I'll call it a defect with the wristwatch. If it didn't have the stated water resistance, why did they post the stated water resistance on it? Obviously I wasn't using the pushers or anything. So that was a service that I had. Since then, I haven't serviced it at all because I've used it in dry conditions, and I haven't had a need to service it yet. The other wristwatch that I've had to service was the Ulysse Nardin Maxi Marine Diver, and that's because I had an imperfection in the it was like a little speck of dust or something on the dial itself. But it was under international warranty. That was a free service that was covered by warranty. Now, as far as paid, and this is, to respond to y'all's questions, how often do you service your wristwatch? That's a paid service. You're preferably going to the manufacturer and having them do it, because that would be the best case. But there are a lot of trusted watchmakers, especially if you've got a standard movement like an ETA in your wristwatch. If maybe you got it on the secondary market, maybe you didn't spend much for it, and you don't necessarily want to send it back to the manufacturer, you could find a local and trusted watchmaker to service that for you. So with that being said, back to the key question, how often do I service my wristwatches? Well, I just gave you my service history. Only the Ulysse Nardin and the Breitling, and that was because of found problems with those during the international warranty period. So I didn't have to pay anything for that. As far as oldest wristwatch, Omega Seamaster 300M Blue Wave dial. You might refer to that as one of the James Bond wristwatches. Haven't serviced it. Now, I will say with that, the timekeeping capability, it's no longer COSC, C-O-S-C. So if you're concerned about, keeping your wristwatch, your automatic or manually wound wristwatch, COSC compliant, C-O-S-C compliant, then you will need to follow meet or exceed those recommended service intervals by the manufacturer. The other thing, especially if you're swimming with a wristwatch, the you know, the Omega Seamaster 300M is a great example. So is the Rolex Submariner. You know, those are tool watches. They're meant to be swim with, just like this Tudor Black Bay 58 on my wrist. Even if you're not concerned about the timekeeping capability, and maybe the wristwatch is still keeping exceptional time, and you're like, why should I service it? There is a value add of servicing, because there's some rubber pieces under the crown that assist with the water resistance properties of the wristwatch. So the service is not just, don't think about the service as something that's going to keep the timekeeping capabilities of the wristwatch optimized, but it's going to better ensure that, you know, if there's wear on the rubber gaskets, etc., that they're properly serviced and or replaced, so that the possibility of water being introduced into the wristwatch is greatly reduced. So for dive watches, if you wear them like they're meant to be worn, now I wear all my, you know, my Tudors and my Rolexes, my Breitlings, and all of that. That not the Breitling Super Avenger anymore, but the Breitling Super Ocean Heritage 2. And the Ulysses Nardin and the Panerai PAM 112 and all of that. I wear those in the shower. I wear them in the pool. I wear them in the ocean. You know, I bang them into walls. You know, I just bang this into that cast iron, wrought iron chair. So, you know, I wear them like they're meant to be worn. And with that being said, I haven't had to service any of them. Should I service them? Yes. Should I follow manufacturer's recommendations? Yes. Do I? No. Why do I not do it? Well, until I observe a problem, I just don't want to spend the money. And, you know, if I'm not getting +2, -2 on a Rolex, who cares? You know, maybe it's +6, -8, +12, -3. I mean, you know, I'm not that concerned about. Now, some people are. You know, it depends on how you're wired in your head. I mean, if you're not keeping COSC timekeeping capabilities, or in the case of Rolex with superlative chronometer, +2, -2, if you're not keeping that, then you're going to be the person who's going to be servicing quite frequently. And again, that varies among wristwatch reference. That varies among the manufacturer of the wristwatch, because a lot, and the age of the wristwatch, because a lot of the newer ones, as I mentioned, you've got higher end components, you've got better lubricants. You know, they're able to stretch out, they're able to extend those service intervals because of the superior technology within the wristwatch. So, you know, I've told you what I do, and I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm suggesting that, you know, you ask yourself the question, you know, should you follow the wristwatch manufacturer's recommendations for service intervals? Yes, that is best practice. Now, what I just said is not best practice, but am I happy? Do I look down at the wristwatch and go, man, my time's off? Or now, if water was being introduced into the movement, I'd be like, you know, I should have serviced that, because now I've got to get, you know, I got to go through all this hassle, and if I don't do it quickly, especially with salt water, you know, I don't want to potentially degrade the internal components because of the salt water. But anyway, you do what you want to do. I don't care what you do, but I do care if you subscribe. So be sure to subscribe and ring that bell, and that'll notify you whenever I post another video. And I deeply appreciate the questions. Keep them coming, because I'll try to respond to all of your questions within upcoming Timepieces for Tomorrow videos. Now, if you really enjoyed this video, send me a super thanks. You can look down below this video, and there's that button that says thanks. That is a great way to support my channel and videos like this one. Not required, but appreciated if you choose to do it. And keep the questions coming, because I really appreciate the questions. Helps me a lot. I'm here to post as many wristwatch related videos as possible, and I'm not here to get into all the, you know, now you look at the wristwatch channels on YouTube, the majority of them are propped up by sponsors, and they're not, it's just not a genuine message. The rest of them, they've gotten away from wristwatch content, and it's all conflict among the wristwatch reviewers on YouTube. I'm Irish guy. I've been doing wristwatches on YouTube for many years, and we all know Archibald Chesterfield III, AC3, Archie Luxury, our pontiff. He is the best wristwatch person in the entire universe, the most knowledgeable. Nobody can trump him. I don't even try to trump him, but I've been involved with the wristwatch space almost as long. Well, actually, I found him because I had the Omega Seamaster 300M, and I was looking for something acceptable to add, and it was Archibald Chesterfield III's professional advice that steered me towards what to buy and what not to buy. So very interesting field of interest, and appreciate your questions, your viewership, and your support. Y'all have a good day. Thanks again for watching this video, and want to remind everyone, be sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. And if you've got a wristwatch or a wristwatch collection that you'd like for me to try to review within an upcoming video, send me an email, review@timepiecesfortomorrow.com. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.